So today we are going to talk about Warren Buffett and the interpretation of financial statements. So this is a book which talks about how Warren Buffett search for companies who have a durable competitive advantage with interpreting the information in different financial statements, like the income statement, the balance sheet, and also the cash flow statement. So I will make several videos to introduce the contents of this book, and because like there are a lot of um, different items in each um, financial statement to introduce, so maybe a series of videos will be better to explain all those items. So the first um, financial statement I would like to introduce is the income statement, and one of the metrics we need to see we need to measure in the income statement is the high gross profit margin. Um, a company with a high gross profit margin is likely to have a durable competitive advantage in general, as Warren Buffett said. So in here we can see if the gross profit margin is higher than 40%, that means the company is likely to have a durable competitive advantage. If it's lower than 40% and between but higher than 20%, it may means like the companies in the highly competitive industries, the overall profit margin is hurt. And if the gross profit margin is lower than 20%, that means like the company may be located in a fiercely competitive industry, which every party in the industry um, is very competitive, and no one can actually gains um, from like have a huge gains or huge durable competitive advantage. So in here we can see like in the general rule is the higher the gross profit margin, that means the higher the profitability and the higher chance the company to have a durable competitive advantage. So the having a durable competitive advantage allows the company to price the products and services in excess of its cost of goods, so to generate high gross profit margin. So that means like basically, um, if you have a durable competitive advantage, you may able to sell your products higher than other companies because like customers may be attracted by your competitive advantage, and in some occasions like they may even force to buy your products because you can give you can provide products that other companies can't. So in here I would like to show you an example like how the gross profit margin is measured, how high gross profit margins is related to a good company or a company with a durable competitive advantage. So in here we can see the I will use the example of Coca-Cola to demonstrate the gross profit margin point. So in here we can see here is the gross profit margin for the 3 years from December 2020 to December 2022, and we can see here is the average gross profit margin is 59.24%. So how is gross profit margin calculated? It's basically gross profit is divided by the net sales or the operating revenue. So in here we can see the gross profit margin for the previous 3 years is 59.24%, which is greater than 40%. So if you still remember, that means like if a company has a gross profit margin over 40%, that means the company has a high chance of having a durable competitive advantage. So why will Coca-Cola will have such a high gross profit margin? So we may need to consider several points. Like firstly, like Coca-Cola is kind of is an oligopoly firm, and they are in an oligopoly market. So um, let's think about what the competitors of Coca-Cola be. We can just merely think of Pepsi, right? Who also makes Pepsi Coke. So as like in the beverage market, in the beverage market, there's only a few players in it. So each player in the market could be a price maker, and therefore, like Coca-Cola is a price maker and is able to set higher price of their products. So what that means, like they can set a price which leads to a greater difference between the price and cost of goods sold, and therefore the gross profit margin for Coca-Cola is high. And this also indicates that um, their products cannot be replaced by other firms. Like other firms cannot make the same Coke of Coca-Cola because like Coca-Cola has a durable competitive advantage in making their unique Coke. So that means like Coca-Cola is a company with like durable competitive advantage in making beverage. So yeah, so that's the point of the gross profit margin. So another point I would say is the selling general and administrative expenses. So let me introduce this item. So selling general and administrative expense like basically includes three categories. The first is the selling expense. So what will be included in the selling expense are like salaries, wages of the salespeople, and also commissions of the salespeople, and also like marketing or advertising costs. So in the second part is the general expense. Um, in this part, in this part normally includes the rents, for example, the office rents of the companies, the utilities like electricity, water, gas, etc., and also the office supply expense. And the third part is the administrative expenses. So in this slide, um, we can see like Warren Buffett proposed that um, the lower the company SGA expense, the better um, the company financial performance, and also the higher chance the company has a durable competitive advantage. So he mentioned like SGA to gross profit ratio um, lower than 30% is considered fantastic, and if you have a SGA to gross profit ratio between 30% and 80%, that's considered acceptable for a company with a durable competitive advantage. So in here we will also show the example of how the SGA expense related to durable competitive advantage. So in here we can see here the column in here shows the row in here shows the selling, general, and administrative expense for Coca-Cola for the previous 3 years. So I calculated the average SGA expense is 36.51%. So although this percentage is higher than 30% a little bit, but it's still in an acceptable range because it's greater than 30%, but it's lower than 80% a lot. So so here we can think about some of the selling expense of Coca-Cola. For example, they may have some freight cost of Coca-Cola for like they may distribute their Coke to the supermarkets in order to resell it. And another kind of SGA expense is like advertising and marketing costs. So for example, they have advertisement on social media like YouTube. Like we can often see the Coca-Cola videos um, in the ads when we are like watching videos. So that's also one of the main expense of Coca-Cola. So the third point I will introduce is the research and development costs or expenses. So Warren Buffett says better to stay away from it if you want to pick a company with a durable competitive advantage. The Warren rule states that companies that have to spend heavily on R&D expenses have an inherent flaw in their competitive advantage that will always put their long-term economics at risk. So in here, I would first introduce the term research and development expense. They are the direct expenditures relating to a company's efforts to develop, design, and enhance its products, service, technology, or processes. So we can imagine, like, if a company needs to continuously to innovate, design, like, or develop their products, they are not having a durable competitive advantage. In fact, they need to keep improving in order um, to maintain their profit. So that will be there's a higher chance of company to stay in a competitive industry if um, the companies are spending a lot in the research and development costs. So in here we can also see the example for Coca-Cola. Um, yep, and here we can see the research and development expenses for Coca-Cola is like 0 billion, which is pretty good and pretty match what Warren Buffett says. And because of the low R&D expenses, this shows that Coca-Cola doesn't need uh, consistently improvements in their Coke or designs or um, enhancing in their quality. The Coca-Cola has a durable competitive advantage and which allows it to no need to change that much, but um, to to sell the products, um, I would say, but selling the same volume of the products each year. So as Coca-Cola doesn't spend a lot in these expenses, in research and development expenses, the net profit of Coca-Cola could be greatly enhanced, and this is also one of the signal that Coca-Cola may be one of the is a durable competitive advantage. Is a company with durable competitive advantage. So here we introduced the three features in an income statement showing that there's maybe a sign of durable competitive advantage. So if you like my videos and like my PowerPoints or my introduction, please subscribe and like my channel and also share to others.